Wait. Blow me up, bro. Yo, put this a little higher, bro. What's good, everybody? Y'all be taking back. And, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a happy man opening this up. Last time we were here. Ashley. My sweet, sweet Ashley. Killed somebody for me. Let's continue. I slowly drew my eyes open. My chest felt tight. I inhaled deeply and exhaled heavily as if to expel my body of all the wound up fear that stirred inside. It didn't help much. My body felt leaden, my heart hollow. Rising from bed, I shook the remnants of trying to sleep away. Looking at my surroundings, I noticed I had thrown the covers and pillows on the floor. It was strange. I had fallen asleep, but I saw no dreams or nightmares. My subconscious felt suspended in a null zone. The clock read 4:15. I rubbed the exhaustion from my eyes. Feeling numb and listless, I dragged my heavy body out of bed and shuffled toward the door, but I didn't know where to go. It's not true, I mumbled to myself. There was one place I could think of. 4:15 a.m. p.m.? What time it is? Where we going, Neko? I stepped out of my personal room and saw Lau down the opposite hall. He just scowled and stomped off. I went on my way. He going to Silvers. 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 I walked through the living quarters hall, through the foyer, and up the stairs to the second floor. Second floor? I saw Say standing in front of the spa lounge door, weeping gently. Say, are you okay? Oh! Caught off guard, Say wiped her tears. As I approached Say from the staircase, something gleamed in her hands. It looked like a closed pocket watch. She stared a burning hole in the door, rolling the small object between her fingers. After a moment, she managed to croak out a stiff response. This is how it's supposed to happen, isn't it? What do you mean? We can't do anything, no matter how hard we try. It still ends like this. I had nowhere to go before I came here, but now what do I do? She was visibly shaking. It was horrible seeing her like this. Say, console her, bro. I couldn't say for certain I knew exactly what she was going through, but I just knew one thing. I understand how you feel. Scared and alone. But if it's any consolation, at least we have each other. I let the words slip out, but in truth, I wasn't confident enough that sentiment in my own heart yet. She rolled the delicate disc in her hands a few times again. I wonder what that meant to her. If anything, she didn't respond. Instead, she just wiped her tears and nodded. I spent some time with Say in solitude. Passing through the atrium, I spotted Forte gazing at the delicate globe centerpiece. He seemed to be humming to himself, but stopped when I approached. Evening, Echo. Hello. Did I interrupt you? No. It's a melancholic tune. I would rather not bother you further with it. Oh, it's a bit unfortunate situation we found ourselves in, isn't it? Despite the heavy words, his face read differently. His shoulders remained relaxed as he looked up past the globe at the dark, cool sky. He seemed calm somehow. Tell me, Echo, how are you? Are you alright? Huh? Am I alright? Nah, bro. No, I'm hurt. The killing game and the trials that follow. No, this whole game. It's horrible and I hate it. We're losing people, friends we've just met, and friends we've known. It feels like there's no end in sight. It's perfectly normal to feel devastation as we find ourselves cautiously navigating life or death situations. The game has instigated those with a spirit inflicted with distress and grief to ends unmentionable and trials of heartbreak. Yes, my soul is stirring. But in my experience on the stage, these sorts of feelings never last for long. We move people to tears with our performances about tragedy, the love and lost. Yet the audience knows the performance will and end of thus. They'll move on with their lives. I can't help but wonder how much longer until the curtains close on this story. Forgive me for bending your ear with my thoughts. I'll let you be on your way. No, that's okay, Forte. It's comforting to know I'm not alone in feeling afraid. Indeed, you are never truly alone. I stood in a moment of silence as Forte saying his words with clarity. What the fuck is this, bro? Oh, hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. That was hard. That was hard. I made my way through the atrium and up the stairs, arriving on the 3rd floor. I spotted Missy at the marble table in the center of the 3rd floor. She was contemplating something. Missy? Oh, Echo. Excuse me, I hadn't noticed you. Missy looked unsettled. She might have been put off from what I did earlier. I closed the distance between us. What's that? This is... She moved to reveal a small decorated box. Fuck is that, bro? The gun and my revolver and the dagger. The two weapons shone dully in the dim light of the hallway. I discovered the dagger when Cyrus allowed me to explore the room of my associate. Needless to say, I didn't wish to take it with me, but here it is again, as if it were following me. And the gun? Clean and posed for reuse. It looked like it was the only thing to emerge from the wreckage of the smoke lounge. I see. The dangerous tools needed to continue the game were returned to the players. I stared at the weapon in her hand. I wanted more than anything to tear them out of her hand and oh wow. Oh wow, I didn't even know what I would do if I had him. Echo want to be a killer, y'all. He want to be a killer. I suppose it's inescapable. Missy snapped me out of my thought. Where there's love, grief will be following close behind. Missy seemed to harbor a great concern for whoever this dagger belonged to. Can I ask, who was this person? Missy hesitated. Former love. I don't think I need to tell you how important. No. Precious she was. So much so that I foolishly endangered everyone. The traces and signs of our friends, they've been placed to provoke us. The dagger is analogous to seeing Silva's helmet. They are items of close regard. To see them away from their respective owner is distressing. I withheld this information because if everyone realized the truth of these items right away, we would all become distraught and lose our bearings in the midst of saving ourselves. That's what you did! But I just don't know anymore. I thought I knew what I was doing, but nothing makes sense. The more time we spend here, the less I know. Morbid curiosity. The desire to delve further and further into dark well for a pinch of hope. It has driven me to no satisfying end. And now, I'm making you suffer my consequences. Missy. Another heavy sigh escaped her lips. I've never felt so aimless. Echo. I don't expect forgiveness I don't expect forgiveness from you for what I did. Simply put, I introduced a weapon to the fray which eventually caused Ashley's downfall. Forgiveness? You know, it's crazy. All these other ones I haven't had to think about. This one is with me, bro. I'm gonna be real, it really is. Can I blame her for what Ashley did? I don't know. I don't think Ashley would have killed him if it was so easy. I don't think Ashley would have killed Cyrus if it was so easy, bro. But it's also not her fault that Ashley decided to do that. Ashley, why did you shoot him? Why did you take place in that, bro? He provoked you and you let him provoke you. Do I forgive her for putting this weapon out? I'm gonna be honest, no. I don't forgive her. I'm not forgetting that. Like, my best friend is dead because of you, bro. I understood why she did what she did. Leaving the weapon out was a show of belief that we would do no harm. I understood in theory, but you say that, but ultimately a weapon was used to cause destruction. How could I not come to the conclusion that you're at fault? Missy's eyes fell. It's easy to want to connect those two damning things together to find a reason within the tragedy, but it's merely not healthy. The truth of the bigger picture is this. Ashley meant to protect the one she cared about, and she truly wanted to remove a threat from our group, having faith that we remaining students won't do harm to each other after the fact. Despite that, regardless the risk she took, we're still here participating in a seemingly endless game. Our predicament doesn't appear so black and white, does it? I'm sorry. I can't seem to form my thoughts. Mrs. Composure was fractured. She was shouldering the insurmountable weight of guilt. I didn't know what to say. I assume you've come up here for the same reason as I. I'm sorry for taking so much of your time. I'll leave you be. And thank you for trusting me during the trial. I regret having put you through all that. I nodded almost invisibly as Missy made her exit down the stairs. I realized Missy was right. The situation was too complicated to make strict judgment on what she's just or unjust. the end of the day, everyone was in pain. Why should I perpetuate it by being so callous to them? I sighed. Arriving where my subconscious had urged me, I stood still. I stood in the casino, feeling phantom traces of what happened just hours ago. Exasperate my bones. My mind wishfully wandered back to a time before this terrible game, a peaceful time before the despair. Why are all these beats scary? Even this happy one. It was just the other night. Ashley and I were talking about I'm sorry, about nothing in particular, but I'm not listening to these scary ass beats. But we knew nothing or our time together would come to an end. The autumn season was coming to a close. Just a few more months for our new phase of life to rise from the horizon. We were relishing the bright, warm sun of the present before it set into peerless night. Sitting in comfortable, familiar silence, we enjoyed each other's company. Have you decided where you want to go? No, not yet. I was thinking about taking a gap year to travel. Traveling sounds like a dream. Seeing different people and expanding your worldview. Yeah, but then I'd have to worry about my finances if I'm on the road often. Don't fret. There's always other options. Maybe you could travel locally. There could be interesting sights in the next city that you never knew about. That's a good idea. I've never really thought about that since I just walk everywhere in the city. What about you? Any interesting prospects? Well, Papa wants me to help out on the ranch a little more. The new season's coming up and we're expecting some competitors to stop by. Oh yeah, the races. You get pretty busy during those weeks, right? It's hectic, but it's fun. And I don't mind helping. In fact, I was still unsure about what I was going to do after school anyway. So this gives me more time to think. And some more time with Hyperion. I'm sure he would miss you if you left. Of course. I would miss him too. We laughed lightly. I don't think you have to worry much. If anything, you have a future at the ranch with your father. It's a good fallback, just in case anything were to happen, right? Yeah, good fallback. A pondering silence drifted. I think you should travel, though. It would be wonderful to hear all about your journey. Nothing is really keeping you down, no? Not really, but the idea is a little daunting. Learning new languages to get around, not to mention finding the money to do this, it's a little risky. And we're probably not going to have many chances to see each other. There's always a million reasons not to do something. Yeah. Besides, if you ever get tired of traveling, I'll always be here. Just don't forget about me, okay? She flashed me that warm, comforting smile of hers. Don't forget. I felt my heart swell. I should have forgave Missy, bro, but I'm angry, bro. I returned to the first floor after some time. Passing through the foyer, I saw Missy and Forte having dinner in the dining hall. Hello again, Echo. Are you well? Yeah. I think I'll be okay. Missy, I'm sorry if I was unresponsive earlier. I just needed some time to sort out my thoughts. I understand. We're all going through a lot right now. Yeah. Even though we shared a mutual sentiment, our eyes never met during the exchange. Forte broke the silence. Echo, would you like to join us for dinner? It's been a trying day. You ought to take a moment to unwind. No thank you. I have so many things on my mind and no appetite to feed the thought. Will you be alright? Yeah, I just have a lot to think about. Well, don't push yourself too hard. And don't be a stranger if you do end up wanting to join us. I left Missy and Forte to enjoy their meal in peace. Echo, what are we really doing right now, bro? Let's be real. I wandered to the middle of the main foyer and paused. Something was bothering me. One concern I had involved someone I hadn't seen all evening. Should I visit Cannon? Visit Cannon, bro. I figured since I didn't run into her at the tram or anywhere along the way, Cannon must have been in her room. I went down to the living quarter hall and knocked on the door engraved with her school symbol. Cannon, are you there? I just wanted to apologize. There was no response. I knocked one more time for good measure. Silence again. It is now 9 p.m. Nighttime will begin at 10 p.m. Facilities will be closed at 7 until 7 a.m. in the morning. Even the darkest night, she was in her room. She didn't want to be disturbed. There wasn't much I could do. I slowly shuffled off. What the fuck was that? I couldn't help but feel guilty for denying Cannon's help, despite her tried sincerity. I wonder if I can get the photo pieces back for Missy. But nighttime had come before I knew it. I would have to ask Missy about the torn photographs tomorrow. I returned to my personal room and sat on the bedside. I felt sick and shattered. We just passed the first half of this so-called game and lost 4 of 10 students in our group. With 3 more days on the horizon, I fear what would become of our already sparse community. I settled in the bed and closed my heavy eyes. My thoughts were entangled in question after haunting questions. The word, sights, and memories blurred together with no answer in the horizon. I let go. Images unwound and spilled into the night. Sleep would eclipse my mind as another night passed.
Danganronpa.
Day 5. 2 more to go. Something ached. I felt my stomach turn over. Hungry. I slipped out of bed and went to the sink, splashing away another fitful night's sleep from my eyes with crisp water. Alert from the chill, I got properly dressed. It was disturbing how quickly I acclimated to the morning routine. 7 a.m. I was awake an entire half hour before the present alarm went off. Grumbling from the habitual awakening, I sulked out of my personal room to grab a bite from the dining hall. The halls were quiet. Nothing but my soft footsteps upon the carpet kept me company. I closed the dimly lit foyer and sat myself down at the end of the side dining hall. Or what? I crossed the dimly lit foyer and sat myself down at the end of the dining hall table. Thank you. What the fuck was I reading? I laid my eyes directly on the basket of pastries that still sat in the center of the table. 2 pastries remained. A lemon square and some kind of Danish with jam. I helped myself to the lemon square, the delicate bite of sweet and sour zest filling me with flavorful vigor. As much as I enjoyed the pastry, I couldn't help but remember the melancholic feeling of Pandora's life being cut short. I finished off the lemon square, leaving the jam Danish in the basket all by its lonesome. Damn, bro. I miss Pandora too, bro. I placed a snack in a folded napkin and snuck it in my pocket. Maybe I can give it to Kenan. It's not much, but I don't really know what I was going to do with it. Give it as a peace offering? I don't think she would accept it as a peace offering per se, but it would be a shame to waste it. I tried to recall whether or not Kenan had even tried. Scared the fuck out of me. My thoughts were interrupted by a sharp exclamation. I rushed out of the dining hall and saw Lau and Kenan arguing in the connecting hall between the foyer and living quarters. She was standing beside Lau once more, watching the scene unfold. Kenan, you're always running away and hiding, aren't you? Shut up! The fuck are you talking about? You think I'm gonna run headfirst into danger? I'm not gonna be an idiot like you and Echo, fucking moron. Getting myself hurt for no fucking good reason. Oh! Lau seized Kenan's camera from her waist. Hey, hands off! Give me my fucking shit! I've had it with you and your secrets. I'll break this thing for good if you don't tell me what you're hiding. No, don't, please! I can't figure out her voice right now. What's going on? She's hiding some shit. I started to intervene, but Forte stepped in from within the living quarters. Approached from down the hall behind Lau. Forte plucks the camera out of his grasp with ease. You're all awfully lively at such an hour. Forte returned the camera to Kenan as Mitchie approaches from the opposite side of the living quarters. Lau and Kenan stepped back a few paces from each other. The space was now singularly occupied by their glares. Kenan wraps the strap around her wrist and grips the camera tightly. Good morning, everyone. Yes, good morning to y'all. Although I would hardly call shouting and threatening others as a productive way to start the day. What's the commotion this time? Yeah, good morning. I'm not entirely sure. I woke up early, so I went to the dining hall to help myself to breakfast when I heard Lau and Kenan arguing about something. Why are you up so early? Anyway, Lau, I haven't been able to sleep yet, if you really must know. Lau trailed off, but his gaze was tense. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Lau scoffed. Anyway, I was awake because I was restless. But Kenan here was sneaking around my room looking for dirt, no doubt. That's a damn lie. Stop fucking lying. Is that so? Explain this. Lau produces a photograph of what looks like to be a checker pattern. What the fuck is this? Indeed. Just what are you showing us? It's a chessboard. I have a chessboard in my personal room, and the only way Kenan would have taken a picture of it was if she trespassed and entered my room. You're the worst. You were blatantly walking around with the thing tucked under your arm early hours of the morning, you fucking moron. I didn't sneak anywhere, much less your personal room. It smells like fucking dick in there. I don't fucking care. I just happened to be around the corner when I saw the strange thing. So, you admit you were hyped. Just a minute. What's this about a chessboard? That's none of your business. Brought it out only to discuss it with State. No one else. Missy sighed. Don't be absurd. The existence of such a thing has been brought to everyone's attention thanks to your commotion. There's no use in keeping it a secret now, Lau. Fine. Lau leaves the group to retrieve the item in question from his personal room. The rest of us gathered in the dining hall in anticipation. After a moment, Lau returns, presenting a large cured wooden chessboard. X and X. Wow, the X is right there. Care to elaborate what seems to be the issue here? It's not strictly a chessboard per se. It doesn't come with pieces to play with, and there are markings on two opposite corners. But from those differences alone, I know what its real purpose is. It's the mutilated chessboard problem. If I recall correctly, that's a type of chilling puzzle, no? Yes, the problem is as so. Suppose an 8x8 chessboard was two diagonally opposite corners removed, leaving 62 squares. Is it possible to place 31 2x1 dominoes in such a way along the ranks of the or files that all squares are covered from the numbers alone? You think it mathematically possible? After all, 31 is easily half of 62. However, the problem is impossible to complete. By removing the two diagonally opposite corners, we're taking out two either black or white squares, whichever is removed. We're left with a real estate of 32 of one type of square and 30 of the other. This is an issue, since the dominoes will always cover one black and one white. If the remaining squares are uneven like that, we'll be left with one domino and two uncovered squares. At the end of the day, puzzles like this are pointless. They're not problems. They're hoaxes meant to frustrate. In that case, do you believe you were expected to solve it, given you are the ultimate puzzle master? I doubt it. It came with neither instruction or dominoes, just the board itself. Its two corners marked was in my room. Even if it were given to me to solve, whoever gave it to me must know that I would see through the problem straight toward the impossible nature of it anyway. Salah had this complicated thing in his room as well. Huh? Hang on. This moment felt oddly familiar. Hearing someone had a strange thing in their room. I wonder if it were simply a coincidence or... Hey, Forte, can I ask you something? What is it? When I was shocked on the first day, you took me to your personal room to keep an eye on me. I remember you had a sheet of music. What was it of? Oh, that. The sheets will actually select parts of the libretto for an opera I have some disdain for. Oh? Indeed. The story of a man that, despite his success, makes a deal with dark spirits to get what he truly wants. I don't care much for the moral of it. I see. His choice of words were rather nonplussed, but his brow furrowed deeply at the mention of the opera. Could these things be indicative of something more? In their respective rooms, Lau had a frustrating puzzle, and Forte had a sheet of music that turned out to be a story he doesn't quite like. Interesting. I wonder, then, if the robber in my room is presented in a similar fashion to test myself with a precarious game within a game itself. What could that mean? Don't you think it has something to do with your talent as well? Perhaps, but conversely, there's a discrepancy among the items. Ashley's room item had nothing to do with her talent. Yeah, Ashley received her friend Silva's helmet. In a way, it could have been read as a gift at first thought, but given their history, it had just been a jab at the fight that occurred between them. And I can surmise what sort of room gift Cannon was given. Her camera. I haven't made any effort to hide it, but yes, I have some rather mixed feelings about this. Not elaborating any further, Cannon scowls as she stares at the device. Say, did you also happen to awaken in your room as a strange item? Yeah, I did. Would you mind sharing it with us? I wonder if it's also something talent related. Say momentarily withdrew into her room to retrieve her item. Here. What the fuck? She produced a yellow skull and bone statuette. What on earth? Is that real? It couldn't be real. It couldn't be real. The shape is too stylized to resemble anything realistic. Oh, I guess you're right. Still, such a depiction of a skull, fake or not, sent chills up my spine. This thing is kind of heavy too. When I woke up, it was sitting on the cabinet at the foot of my bed, staring at me. Like it was telling me something bad would happen. It's horrible. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just hid it in one of my cabinet drawers. Say's item doesn't seem to have any outward appearance of being related to her talent. However, the skull and bone statue had planted a game centered around murder. I get the impression that it was given deliberately. Yeah, it can't be just a coincidence, huh? So Ashley wasn't the only one that had something out of place in her room when she woke up. It seemed nearly everyone had something unusual in their room. Wait, all these strange things have something in common. I think all these room gifts, it seems like they're all meant to unsettle you in some way. Interesting. It was quite disturbing to receive a revolver of all things, before the events of the killing being related to us, no less. Missy, what about the item you had last night? You said it was analogous to Silva's helmet? Correct. has a painted past. The owner was to kill herself with it for betraying her family's wishes. What a loathsome request. So instead of following her family's blindsided desire, she took the dagger and nothing else as she fled from home. Missy withdrew the dagger from her possession and turned it over in her hands carefully. She had a forlorn look in her eyes as she stared at it. No way! There's no way I'm letting Missy allow another weapon to fall into the wrong hands. Thank you, bro. Lyle sped into the in to take the dagger, but Forte held him back with a firm grip. Why are you stopping me? I'm trying to prevent more destruction. Missy's weapons are going to do more harm than good. Can you say with confidence you won't let the weapons fall into the wrong hands as well? Whoever fights Monster should see to it that they do not become a monster in the process. Lao, I think you would do well to follow those words of insight, giving your reactions to the events. Woo! Yo, Forte be fucking spitting, bro. It's not that I don't have any faith in you to solve the workings of our situation, but I don't want you to see you turned against us just for the sake of an answer. I'm not turning against you. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this forsaken game we're in. Lyle hurled the chessboard across the hall, splintering the wood into several pieces. I'm not gonna do it. Lyle, violence is not the answer. You have a sharp mind. Don't let rage and confusion blind your judgment. Then tell me, what's the point of this so-called gifts? Missy, you received the gun of all things, and now you got your hands on a dagger? She even has a skull and a crossbone statue. What good could that possibly serve? Not to mention all the awful gifts. The game has been rigged from the beginning to incite violence, and violence only. Lyle, please, settle down. We're gathered to talk this out. I understand you're frustrated, but the discussion is the best tool at our current disposal. If we keep a level head, we're sure to find an answer for the questions at hand. We have so many brilliant minds here, but why not do what we can? Lyle huffed. He crossed his arms and paced to the far corner of the dining hall, allowing whoever else to speak. Well, all I can do is speculate is perhaps signs of distrust were to be planted among us from the start, since the gifts might have stirred feelings of resentment. If that's the case, what do you think Art's gifts was? Maybe if it was because of that thing he was one to act first. It could be possible he walked into the mansion with pre-existing bleak feelings that were only exacerbated further by the situation we found ourselves in. One could surmise that is a plausible route for his motivation. The room fell silent for a moment. Missy and Forte were deep in thought. While saying Canada were their usual quiet selves, Lyle, on the other hand, just allowed the conversation to move at its own pace. Missy continued, it's going to be difficult to reflect on the events past, but I believe it will be necessary to progress. I believe we ought to ask the killing. What was the root for each occurrence? Art did it for protection, didn't he? As I understood it, it was done more out of fear. I was about to say, they were talking about he was trying to protect us. He just sounded scared, bro. Ashley was afraid too. She was afraid for Echo's safety. Both of them must have thought getting rid of the potential mastermind behind our situation will stop the game completely. However, is there sort of possibility of a mastermind existing within our ranks? No one dared to comment on such a thing. Regardless, I do not like this. Splintering the unity of the group of hypotheticals won't get us very far. Yeah, besides, who would be so cruel to want to insert themselves into a game that could put themselves in harm's way? The idea is disturbingly masochistic? Macho-cistic? I don't fucking know. I suppose an amount of faith is required amongst us so we don't shatter the already limited and delicate trust that's been built. We got this far, haven't we? The most plausible mastermind would have been Forrest, but he was ultimately just a pawn in the overall scheme. So much for his immunity. Another pause. Missy looked over to Lyle, who continued to sulk. Lyle, have you had a moment to collect yourself? He lets out an elongated sigh. Sure. Then please, your wit and assistance will be paramount to solving our predicament. I haven't doubted your skill for a second. However, I would ask that you cooperate. Missy extends a hand in compromise. Lyle hesitates, but eventually shakes in agreement. Make no mistake, I'm still suspicious of everyone here. Missy expect. Don't think I forgive you for the hoops we had to go through to figure out what happened with Cyrus. I don't expect you to accept any of my excuses. So as long as we're understood to have the same goal to escape our predicament, whatever. Just get on with figuring out this damn killing game. If you think about it, the working goal we're supposedly meant to be committing such a horrendous act for is to earn something called the ultimate prize. prize is meant to be received at the end of the 7 days of captivity. In that case, couldn't we just wait until the 7th day? We're pursuing the so-called prize even on anyone's mind this whole time. Consider this. What could possibly be so desirable, yet completely unspecified that we are provoked to fight to the death? We ought to solely focus on pursuing escape and resisting any pressure attack on killing. That's the only answer I can foresee. But, as we've seen, Tyr has deployed a number of things throughout the day to apply stress. Regarding the false motive question, just the act of choosing whether or not to discuss it already has its suspicious implications, doesn't it? And it didn't happen in Cyrus' case, since the killing occurred early in the afternoon. But if we didn't do anything like we did on the 2nd day, something would have been employed later in the day to ensure we would act. Case in point, the disturbing music. Indeed, waiting out wasn't going to be an option to begin with. As far as we could tell, nothing made any sense. Missy furrowed her brow. It's difficult to make concrete statements about our situation. The variety of strange things happening doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason. So what can we even do? Before anyone can respond, a ringing filled the halls. So, day 5, another one. I'm gonna do it in his voice. Another wondrous day within the walls. Today's force motive question is, do you believe in strength in numbers? That's a real head scratcher, huh? Nah, not really. Seems pretty obvious, right? Unless we have any lone wolves out there. The announcement ended as quickly as it came. Okay, Lao's finna fucking get clapped up like a standing ovation. Huh? That one's kind of vague. It's not vague, it's nothing. Why wouldn't there be strength in numbers? Kenan broke her silence with a snide remark. It was strange coming from her, considering how much she avoided us. I'm inclined to agree that the answer seems pretty straightforward. I concur, especially so since we are finding ourselves in a very scenario where it's just beneficial that we all be present to discuss the game. Okay, so we all agree that was completely pointless. Back to what we were talking about. What do we think the purpose of the ultimate prize and the preservation project are as a whole? Miss, you said you wanted to involve yourself with this group. Can't you make heads of or tails of this? I've been trying to make sense of it since we arrived. All I can say is perhaps we found ourselves in an elaborate trap. I heard Lau mutter, that's obvious under his breath. Missy ignored him. Echo. I believe you may be able to recall what I said when you asked about ultimate students for the first time. Yeah, it was interesting what you said. What those individual groups or institutions do with these students is beyond me. I've not heard many stories of success or failure from anyone who's had the luxury of being accepted. Anyway, don't take much stock in the title is all I'm saying. What do those institutions do with these students? I mean, of course your talents would be highly coveted, but wouldn't the world be seeing constant new development in like biological discoveries and technology? Excellent observation. Why haven't we seen those developments? Indeed, it's clear that as ultimate students, we're at the crux of this game's existence. How do you say so? Who or what singularity determined the fact that we had ultimate talents? The preservation project? An echo. You didn't seem to have any knowledge of the ultimate talents, students, or the preservation project at all prior to your experience thus far. Huh, that's true. So I asked, how did you become a participant here? We all had to willingly sign up to be brought here. I'm curious whether Echo's presence is the discrepancy we come upon. It seems glaringly peculiar given the circumstance. That much is clear. In that case, I believe you've been uniquely blessed with the peculiarity of Echo's presence that could shed light on our situation. Missy thought hard. I need more information. I have an idea on where to potentially fetch the knowledge I seek. Say. You know what? The reason for all of this? Why it's so hard to figure it out? It's all meant to be beyond our comprehension and capabilities, isn't it? Why not just go along with the game instead of fighting it? Oh, fuck. Bro. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? So you just think we should be killing people and shit? What are you saying? Suddenly a rumbling shook through the dining hall. It sounded like it was coming from the foyer. We darted out the dining hall to investigate. No. Wait. The previously impenetrable main foyer doors open. We're on day 5 and there's still 5 of you. That's impossible. The voice crackled. Test your strength. Explore beyond the doors as a group. Split up. Do nothing. I don't care. Your strength in numbers. Can you remain a group in spirit as you wander the mysterious halls? Yes, the doors, once thought of as your only way out, have been thrown ajar. They've never really been an exit. You all just assume so. How silly is that? And, oh, what's this? Facing opposite of the foyer doors, the elevator indicator lit up, showing a new floor available to us, the courtroom. I'll even let you take a little detour over to the courtroom. Find the secrets of this wretched place if you can bear to face them. Yes, the game will go on regardless how you resist. Everyone was astonished. We were all fixated on the gaping dark hole that lay beyond the previously dangerous door. Zero is challenging us to uncover the secrets of our captivity. So be it. I will be infiltrating Cyrus's room. He had knowledge of mine and Ashley's connections. It's likely he has access to much more information. What? But the door that mysteriously kept us in has opened up. There could be information further in the building too. Law puts out the secret note he's been hiding onto since discovering it on the second day. This note has to mean something. It's clear that Zero represents one of the symbols and has shown himself in the courtroom. So the same has to be said about Eve's symbol. Whoever's operating the mountains, Eve or Zero, have to be somewhere beyond the doors. It would be too obvious for Zero to be hiding in the courtroom. But if it's simply an artificial intelligence behind the two personalities, then what? Searching for something intangible and scripted to run the game won't relieve overall secrets beyond the walls. Cyrus knew things about the project as a whole. That kind of information can't be denied at a time like this. Lau, Missy, please. Arguing again isn't going to solve anything. Agreed. I hate to suggest it, but perhaps this opportunity is the fool's motive question presenting itself in a testable way. That's what I was thinking. If we recall day 3, the additional motive of distressing music was implemented at 4 p.m. We can split up and investigate until 4 p.m. We can rendezvous and exchange information all the while bracing ourselves for what Zero has in store for us. In that case, we'll venture into the unknown. If anything goes wrong here, you bet I'll be the one to puzzle the truth together in the aftermath. Law stands squarely before the dim hall of the open doorway. I suppose it's our best option. It's not the wisest thing to do given our already small group, but it will give us an edge in discovering the secrets of our whereabouts. Missy nods as she makes her decision to remain within the main wing. There are 6 of us. Therefore, we ought to divide into groups of 3 so we can all keep an eye on each other in our respective areas. Breaking off into 3 pairs is out of the question. Kenan, you're coming with me. What makes you think I want to go with you? As much as I'd miss your awful company if you didn't come, you won't let go of your camera, and I think it might be just a touch of useful going down, okay? Kenan rolled her eyes but didn't object further. I joined Missy. Worry not, I shall not let anything go wrong. Besides, I trust Kenan to keep an eye on things for me. Sure you do. We decided on splitting between investigating beyond the foyer doors and remaining in the main wing. With only myself and Say remaining, I looked at her to see what group she would go with. Say remained still. I guess she was waiting for me to pick my choice first. I wonder what everyone else was expecting from this. What? I'm gonna pick Lau first just in case. Echo, hurry it up, will you? I know. I need some time to think. The worst action is inaction. You have to dig up the miserable place's secrets. If Lau's patience wasn't already paper thin, I just applied a hydraulic press to top it with my indecision. Bro, I wanna go with Lau. What do you think you'll find? Who can't say? I certainly don't know what to expect, but I'll do my best to assist Missy in her endeavors. Oh, I see. I'm not sure what I could offer to the investigation. Half of a memorable experience in the overall scheme. Don't fret. If you can't lend a hand, keep in mind simply that impact we have on other people. We're important to each other. I approached Kenan wishing to apologize for what happened yesterday. I didn't quite know what to say. Kenan didn't lift her eyes to meet mine as I tried to organize my thoughts. Echo, hustle. Please, Echo. Time is of the essence. Kenan continued to stay silent. Are you having trouble deciding? A little. I'm mostly worried that something bad might happen. It's perfectly normal to feel fear. It means you're still human. Your senses haven't assimilated to the awful environment. Oops. Say, do you have any preference? No. I'll go with whoever. I don't care. You pick. Okay. So whichever group I decide to go with, Say will likely join the other. Come on, you all. I'm being very generous right now. You don't want your opportunity to go to waste, do you? Time's a wasting. Zero's taunting voice rung through the halls once more, his laugh crackling through the speakers. This feels like an important choice. Perhaps I should think carefully. One is going to Cyrus's, one is going to the open door. Cyrus has secrets, that open door. I don't think Cyrus will have much. So it's either Damn, I really wanted to go with Lau now, but I'm not gonna lie. But she's searching the rooms. If she's searching all of them, I want to see what's in Silva's. I'm sorry. I'm doing this for Ashley. I'll go with Missy and Forte. It was decided. I joined Missy and Forte on the opposite side of the center glass. Say joined Lyle and Cannon near the foyer doors. Then that's that. We'll each investigate to our fullest abilities and rendezvous here before 4 p.m. That alright with you, Lyle? Yes, ma'am. Lyle had already begun walking past the doors before she asked. Cannon silently matched his pace and scurried to catch up. As the thief faded out of sight, I immediately began to feel uneasy. Is this okay? Splitting up. Come now, Echo. A choice has been made. The general consensus was that we will split up evenly if we wanted to comb the building in a timely manner. Yeah, sorry, I'm just a little worried. I couldn't shake the remnant hostility between Law and Kennon's argument this morning. There was a cackle of static before Zero started speaking again. So y'all decided to split up, huh? That's alright. No sweat off my back. Figuratively speaking, obviously. Thanks to your fancy bracelets, I can still locate where you are. There's no escaping for you quite yet. Anyway, I have a very special big motive for you all later, but for now, how about some little gifts? Not for everyone, mind you. These will be for Cannon and Missy, respectively, at their nearest kiosk. Grab it if you want, or leave it for someone else to stumble upon. I don't care. At this point, whatever you do is meaningless anyway. Huh? I wasn't sure if it was just me, but it felt like Zero's energy was different. I'll check back with you folks later. Enjoy your investigation. The announcement ended. Missy went over to the foyer kiosk as directed. Similar to the victim report, the kiosk printed a small sheet, blank face up. What is it? Don't feel any pressure to share it if it's unpleasant. To be frank, I'm only expecting unpleasant. Missy tore the small sheet from the print feed and flipped it around, as if being folded to her. Vexing gift wasn't enough. I have this to remind me of the game's treachery. She showed us the front face of the sheet, a photograph of Darling, drenched in blood. A mocking picture of her death. Missy spat the words as Forte and I took a quick look before turning our gaze away from the horrific sight. It's truly despicable. Missy stared at it a little longer before stowing the picture with her in her coat pocket. We really must get to the bottom of this treachery. I'm revolted by how condescendingly this game treats lives. Missy turned down the living quarter halls towards Cyrus' room. It didn't occur to me until we arrived at his door that we don't have a way in, do we? What do you mean? Isn't the door locked? Desperate times call for desperate measures, don't you think? Missy withdrew Darling's dagger and swiftly struck the doorknob off. I don't exactly have Cyrus's ID bracelet now, do I? I guess not. Missy inspected the borehole previously occupied by a doorknob and inspected the dagger, pulling the latch away from the jamb until the door clicked open. And there we are. Do you think this will be against the rules? It wasn't explicitly stated. However, if it were, I'll deal with the fallout in the courtroom. Missy was persistent. She opened the door and marched straight in. Terribly sorry for the intrusion. Forte stepped in and trailed along behind. I trailed along behind him. Cyrus's room had a little deafening feature in it, similar to mine. Forte's and Ashley's in design. The only thing setting it apart was a set of manila file folders on the bedside table. Ha! It was only a hunch, but it seems I was right in presuming Cyrus had information about us. Missy fanned the folders across the bed and began her search. Here, grab a folder and see if you can see anything interesting about our situation. Forte helped himself into a folder and glanced at the first few pages before seating himself in a spare chair. I gotta stop being scared of this music, bro. Are we looking for anything specific? Anything at all, honestly. The more we know, the better. I picked up a folder at the bottom of the pile, sat cross-legged on the floor, and opened the file. Probably Ashley. Found floor plans for the building. There were some general blueprint diagrams, nothing I could really make sense of. Not that they looked much different from the maps displayed on the kiosk. The only thing to note was a sheet was stained with blood in the corner. One of the blueprints was a small booklet. The title read Floor Plans, Game L on the inside page. 5 floors were listed on the index. Wait, 5 floors? From the top we have superstructure, trial grounds, infirmary, living quarters, casino, smoke lounge, art gallery. Living quarters, dining hall, study, theater, collections, trophy room, and some shit that we can't read because it's bloody. Surely on purpose. The last floor listed had 2 sections. One was the trophy room and the other was redacted. So Lau and Ken and Say are probably visiting the trophy room on the floor below us. I stared through the booklet and found basic information we had already known. All floors have kiosks to communicate. Bracelets are used for identification, or yeah. Just nothing new yet. I flipped to the back looking for details about the 5th floor. This is trash. However, when I arrived toward the final pages, I noticed they were torn out. Whatever remained of the page stuck out from the binding in a messy tear. I grumbled. Of course, the detail of the floor beneath us are conveniently gone. I stared at the back panel and noticed something odd. There seemed to be an imprint of writing pressed into the back panel. It was barely visible, but in the right light, I could just make it out. 251110. Maybe Cyrus himself wrote the numbers on the last page with a certain amount of pressure, wrestling in an almost invisible imprint. These numbers might have been important, seeing as the pages before it torn out. They could have been a mistake, and that's why the pages were removed. Have you two anything pertinent to share? I don't know what she said. Pertinent? I snapped out of my concentration. Oh yeah, I found the floor plans that show a floor below us. From the looks of it, Law and Cannon and Say went down to the trophy room. That doesn't sound too promising. Where there seems to be another room, but it was crossed out, so I can't figure out what else is down there. Also, take a look at this. There's some numbers just barely visible here. I showed Missy the impression of numbers on the back panel. What do you suppose these 6 digits could mean? Code, perhaps? I don't recall encountering any sort of code locked door in our immediate facility. Then it's likely the code is meant to be used in the area where the 3 of them went. Right, that said, let's finish our investigation before we visit them. When we rejoin them, we'll see what discoveries they have reported and whether or not the code will be of use after all. I nodded and made a point to memorize the numbers before it's set in the booklet aside. Forte, did you find anything of note? I came across our class dossier, namely student profiles about each of us. Student profiles? Did you find anything about me? I was still wondering why exactly I was involved in this game, since I didn't explicitly have a given ultimate talent. I've exhausted the files on hand and I didn't see your name anywhere. Oh, I see. I'm terribly sorry. I understand that it's been bothersome to be here as an unexplained outlier. It's not your fault, Forte. I guess it's coincidence. Although, I did come across something useful. These student profiles have an immense amount of background details. Important figures, significant others, fears, and other miscellany. But other than Cyrus, no one present has any background involvement with the game. So all of us present are just victims of coincidence. It seems statistically improbable, given our rare talent expertise. Yes and no? How shall I explain it? To start, as we are aware, the minimum requirement to come here was to be an ultimate student that received a letter of recognition from the preservation project. Should they have accepted the offer for protection, there's a period of time between sending the letter back and I suppose being whisked away to this secret location. Seems in that period of time there was a sorting method to creating the classes were to be composed of pairs of ultimate students. These pairs of ultimate students would have to be 2 people who were significantly involved in one way or another. For example, of the folks we did see from day 1, Alt and Lau were apparently considered to be close enough for pairing off, though it appears this roster would have included a few other students that would have formed pairs but aren't present. One can only assume Cyrus had himself crossed out the students that are absent. However, there are 2 students that aren't crossed out, which may require further inspection, and, well, it would be best if you saw for yourselves before to review the roster with student names and talents. What the fuck? Whoa, there were 15 profiles shown on the roster. One next to Cyrus was clipped out, and 5 were crossed out with dark ink, bringing the total of students' profiles visible to us to 11. However, I wasn't on the roster. So it should have brought the number down to 9 since I was excluded. Peculiar, as you noted, there are 2 extra students we still have yet to encounter. Yes, they are listed as being association with, say, Pandora from the looks of it. Does that mean they're also ultimate students? That isn't be the case. They are listed as ultimate radio host and ultimate cartographer, Akihiko Ports and Gaia Espere, respectively. Gaia Espere? Let's have a closer look at these 2 students. Missy hastily moved aside the folder stone across the bed and placed profiles from Akiko Quartz and Gaia Sperry. Akiko Quartz looked like Zero. His clothing and hair were different colors, but his actual features were the same. The gear spell looked awfully similar to Pandora. Even more daunting were the where their school symbols depicted along with their profile pictures. One thing is for certain. It's clear to us now that Zero's true identity is Akihiko Quartz, and we can conclusively put a face to the second mysterious announcer named Eve. It seemed Pandora must have known more than she was letting on, seeing as the true identity of Eve appears to be her very own sibling. That said, seeing as the two students' association have been revealed, it could only mean Sei. Knowingly, Akihiko has some sort of further involvement with this game. There's no doubt Sei must be the mole we are seeking. Oh, that's crazy as fuck. My head was spinning. We were being fooled from the start. Two people on the inside were connected to the entities administering this game. Shouldn't we confront Sei now that we know she might be up to something? Doing so could prove dangerous. I would like to watch her movements to see what she's thinking, and as far as she's aware, she doesn't know we're onto her. It's difficult to determine what is going on in her mind. She speaks so little. Man, I think we should check out Pandora's room. She may have something hidden in there since she's part of this. Excellent idea. I'd still look over the rest of my files, if you don't mind. I'll go with you, Echo. I'm curious to know what Alt's notable gift was, if you would like to make a detour. I nodded and approached the exit. Oh, just a minute. She gave me the dagger. Then she gave the dagger to Forte. You can use the dagger to knock the doorknob off like I did earlier. On second thought, I don't know if I want to leave you alone like this. I'll be fine. I still have the gun on my possession. I don't want to resort to firing it, but seeing as our situation is becoming more contentious, it may not be my choice. I felt a shiver go up my spine. Macy was taking the situation much more seriously, with a chillingly unfeeling demeanor. Forte and I stepped out of Cyrus's room and walked to the opposite hall to Art's room. There, Forte struck the doorknob, pulled back the latch, and opened the door. Looks like he has golfing gear and shit. The only thing in the arch room was a worn looking out golf bag. The leather bag was embroidered with Kempo piano name. Oh, this must have belonged to his grandfather. Art must have been reminded of his pastime golfing with him. It must have been distressing to see this upon waking, to say the least. Forte let out a heavy sigh. It's unfortunate, but it explains his reaction to Pandora's question. Not knowing she might be involved, do you think she goaded him on? That would be quite maso. I don't fucking know. What's into what benefit? After all, she fell by his hand. Bro, nah, like the creators of this game just like have one big word and just fucking roll with it. They've already used this like twice. That's true. Forte paused. Do you believe the flap of a butterfly's wings would cause a hurricane? Huh? A little thing like butterfly creating a disaster sounds improbable. It's a theory. Meaning occurrences within small initial starting conditions can lead to drastically different outcomes. This situation could very well be one of those drastic outcomes. Are you speculating Pandora set this entire scenario off by purposely inciting the first murder? We can't say that was her intention. Besides, her reaction was never of ill will, were they? She was kind to everyone. But who's to say perhaps the flap of this butterfly's wing caused a storm that would eventually give way to the shining rainbow that will grace our skies. What the fuck is he talking about, bro? He talks some fucking Bible verse, bro. That's a pretty optimistic look. Looking forward to the eventful repose from this nightmare is all we have, isn't it? Eventual repose. I could only hope something like that would free us from the trapping of this story. So why should we wait for something minuscule and out of control like the winds that dictates our fates? I'm keen on taking such matters into my hands if need be. I'm not sure if I would know where to begin with such an endeavor. Well, that's neither here nor there at the moment. Shall we move on to Pandora's room? Yeah, let's check it out. We left Art's room and visited the living quarters on the other side of the foyer. Entering Pandora's room in the same fashion once again. Forte and I came upon yet another non-discrepant personal room. Okay, she don't got shit in here. Only this time there was nothing to be found in her room. Huh? Did Pandora not receive some kind of room gift? Perhaps she was uninvolved. There was no need. But Sei has one, a creepy one at that. He has an ominous skull and bone statuettes. The two of us peeked into the gesture and were greeted with nothing but stationery and other miscellaneous. Wait, what if she was doing what Cannon did? Cannon said she received the instant camera, right? And she's been clinging to it basically since the beginning of this whole predicament. That certainly wouldn't be out of the question. Do you recall anything Pandora might have had that would view of grounds full suspicion. Yeah, a secret note. She showed it to me just before nighttime on day 2. At first I thought something was fishy, that maybe she was hiding something, but I pressed my fingers to my temple. I don't know. Pandora ended up suffering. The note fell into Lao's hands. Maybe the secret note was her vexing gift, but if she were some kind of double agent, why was she nonchalantly present up with me? I can't say. I sighed. The more we know, the better. I couldn't help but think the opposite. As we dug up more information, the more confused I became. I can only hope whatever Lao and Kenan say found would answer the many questions, but at the same time I was afraid to uncover more of these secrets. Let us return to Missy without findings. Returning to Cyrus's room once more, Forte now found Missy in deep concentration. Welcome back. Did you two find anything interesting? Art had his grandfather's golf clubs in his room, and Pandora had nothing. Nothing. Echo speculates that perhaps the secret note mentioned in the first trial may be Pandora's room gift, in the same fashion as Constance's camera. The room was empty. She probably kept the note on her person for safekeeping or something, but when she left it in the pantry on the 3rd day, La's been holding on to it since. I have to take a closer look at it when we rendezvous with Lyle. Missy returned her intent glower to the mess of documents. Anything new here? A disturbing amount of news, yes. Take a seat. Porte and I sat on the spare chairs and gave Missy our full attention. She sat in momentary silence, a fierce gaze transfixed on the folders. I've been reading on the history of involvement of Ultimate students in killing games just like this one. Killing games plural, as in multiple? I figured. Yeah, I know. It's startling to say the least. In that case, that reminds me, in the folder I looked at, our game was labeled Game L. What do you think L means in terms of these multiple games? I believe in context that L is for the Roman numeral 50, so our game is the 50th game. 50 games? Oh, a definitive number to help enumerate how long has this been occurring. Let's see. The 49 games have taken place over a span of approximately 7 days, at most with no break between each game. That's 343 days, almost a year's worth of this hell. Fuck. That's 343 days, almost a year's worth of this hell. I don't understand. I believe that tracks. I remember hearing about this project sometime late in my junior year. Why so many games, you may ask? The exams were implemented with Ultimate students in mind. Ultimate students would be prime subjects for rigorous tests and scenarios involving battling to the best of their ability. To overcome other Ultimate students and come out on top to the best of the best, their experiments were used to determine who could carry their future. The Preservation Project in this killing game, they're one and the same. It seems we aren't just 1 in a million in occurrence. But why? My voice cracked. So this place is just some kind of petri dish for creating an Ultimate student that has some moral regard for what they're doing? No moral regard? Whatever the fuck he said? I'm tired. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. The Preservation Project has washed their hands off of their concerns with morality. It's clear in this documented history. What if it's fabricated? All fake, only to stoke fear. It's very possible. Fear is a possible tactic. Cyrus himself, after knowing all this, had very little room to operate. He was under a considerable amount of pressure and eventually collapsed. I was shaken. Comprehension of the situation was lacking on my mind. Fear chilled me to the bone. Missy, aren't you afraid at all? I'm mortified. However, in the darkness that lurks behind malicious people's intentions is nothing new to me. Calling the individual person simply constituent to strip humanity in the amassing voting numbers. It's nothing but numbers. We play with live ammo. The game toying with the livelihood of widely talented students, enabling a maddening battle royale to create a singular, albeit misdirected, towering Ultimate student. Makes it itself shortly. This must end now. Missy stormed out of the room. Missy! Forte and I chased after her. Missy stood, arms crossed at the elevator. She was embroiled in thought, her brow knit, her posture imposing. Are you in full possession of your faculties? You aren't one to charge for the like so. I hate to say that I only have a hunch. I've little to rely on but gut feeling lately, and I have nothing but instinct to justify acting upon them. I have nothing except... What the fuck? She held up the photograph and pinned it to the wall with the dagger. Nothing but a vengeance for bringing this establishment to the ground into a burning hell for the suffering it's put us through. I was so misguided, so blindsided for thinking I wanted to be part of the Preservation Project. I've been played for a fool. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. You can see it in my eyes. None of us could have known this could be our fate. It is possible that the two conspirators must have known something from the start. Rather than confront one remaining, we must attack the source. The elevator chimed and Missy stepped in. We're going to the courtroom. Only the elevator hum filled our ears as we traveled to the courtroom floor. We entered the dark circular room once more, this time without the explicit orders to determine the culprit. It was quiet. The windows were pitch black. Zero's nowhere to be found. Missy swept in, looking for indication of the announcer's holographic representation. Porter and I filtered into the empty room aimlessly. I can't see a thing through these windows. It should be early afternoon about now, shouldn't it? Perhaps there are shutters covering the window. If I recall correctly, they're closed after a trial. Porter ran his hands across the wall, filling the creases that lined the foundation. Seams running in miscellaneous ranks and files. Porter tried prying one of the sides open to no avail. He knocked on the wall, resulting in an echo bouncing beyond the barrier. There's an empty space beyond this wall. It probably only opens when the student is being executed. I think Zero's operator is hiding where executions take place. I gulped. Oh, no. It was not a sight I wanted to think about. I guess it would have been too easy to visit the courtroom after Zero encouraged us to investigate this area. Missy stepped out from the elevator again. The infirmary has nothing of note either. Missy circled the courtroom stands once before settling at her indicated place. She leaned back, crossed her arms. A tense expression painted her face. Even if we found Zero, how are you going to get any information out of him? He must have known we broke into Cyrus's room, so he might be even more cautious. If I can get him to start talking, we're halfway there. It's about running a conversation long to allow us an opening. Whether it be a contradiction or unknown fact. The more he talks, the faster his options will diminish. That said, we've entered the most damning areas with little to show for. I feel as though we've hit a dead end. It's possible Lau and candidates have better luck on finding information and as such. We can only hope they turn up with something of note. The three of us were steeped in a long, contemplative silence. I sighed, thinking about meeting up with the others, wondering if they were just as luckless as we were finding in anything of use. I thought about Kenan and remembered, Missy, do you still happen to have Kenan's photo, the one from last night? I know I said I didn't want it, but... Oh, certainly. I didn't have time to patch it together, though. Then she drew the two halves of the group photo from her inner coat pocket. I lined the two halves together and gazed at a moment in time that was quickly dashed. That's okay, I awkwardly stole soft looks from Forte and Missy. They seemed to understand that I felt remorseful for what I have done. I want to return it. Body has been discovered in the trophy room. Oh, fuck it, way. Oh, dear. Quickly. We rushed back into the elevator, hurriedly clicking the button for the foyer. Please, no, the foyer floor lit. The door slid open after what felt like an entirety, and we greeted with a bloody sight. It's fucking say. I can't say I'm surprised, bro. The hatchet was buried deep in the back of Cannon's lifeless body. Blood stained the polished floors, and the fresh liquid, oh my gosh, reflected upon the glossy surface, creating a glow in the middle of the foyer. Damn it. Missy and Forte bolted out of the lift where I remained frozen in the elevator cab. A sickening metallic odor filled my senses, and I felt a cold sweat from my brow. Missy and Forte were huddled in a concern over Cannon's body, but it was clearly no use. She was gone. But the body discovery announcement, it said it was in the trophy room. That mean the announcement rung for Lyle? Was they really behind all of this? Above Missy and Forte's clamoring, I heard a strange sound. Crash! Dread possessed me. Missy, Forte! What the fuck? As the foyer tenderly came crashing down on Missy and Forte. They were completely crushed by the chandelier, their bodies lost under the tons of what the fuck? I could hardly muster a sound. I was shell-shocked. What the fuck is... Glass and blood littered the floor beyond me. The glistening liquid reflected on the marble floor and doubled the terror of my mortis side. What the fuck? The nightmare sight brought me to the tumbling of my knees. Dread oozing through every part of my body. My breath was falling out in pieces. My vision became blurry and red from panic. The elevator doors came to an automatic close to hide the sight. Outside of 3 friends being brutally killed. What the fuck? A hand stopped the doors. It looks like Ashley. I felt a sharp impact compromise my bone. Oh, it's fucking say. I felt a sharp impact compromise my bone. Cracks creaked through my system into blazing pain. Something was sticking out my shoulder. It looked like a bull. The heat from the pain, the chill from the terror. I felt heavy and weak. I couldn't lift my eyes to see who attacked me. My whole body crumpled without a fight. My head knocked into the floor, causing me to see stars, and that's clearly say. Like, duh. Nothing. I did it, right? That voice. I followed the rules of this stupid killing game, so please, get me out of here. The ultimate prize is freedom, right? It's say? Becky, please. I know it's your voice, so listen to mine and help me. The ultimate prize? Zero's voice. You don't want the prize. Zero's voice is weird again. No, killing isn't the answer. What? After Say's remorseful cry, one could hear a pin drop. I could feel my heart struggling as my adrenaline rose. Killing isn't the answer, then what were we doing here? This is wrong. It's all wrong. Yo, I'm sorry if my energy's off, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. I worked at 6 a.m. today at work, and it's 3 a.m. right now. I should be asleep. What was that? What the fuck? Come on, y'all. I'm being very generous right now. You don't want your opportunity to go to waste, do you? Zero taunting voice. Alright. Nah, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll do this next other part later. Right now, I need to go to bed, bro. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next one. Alright, y'all. Hold on. This is me. The next day in the morning. I wanted to apologize for my energy towards the end. 1. I was tired. Hello. Like I said, I went in, I think at 6 in the morning to work, right? That means I had woke up like 5 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't sleep, nothing. I went straight through and recorded a bunch of videos all the way till 3 a.m. So I want to apologize for my energy at the end. I also wanted to sit here and talk about what just happened, because even I didn't appreciate the way I was reacting, bro. Say just went and clapped everyone. We went with Missy, and we seen what happened. I ain't gonna lie, I'm curious and I want to keep recording, because this is me after everything happened and I got a bunch of energy and I want to find out more, right? Hello, because Cannon died. And like I said, I don't know, for some reason I see Cannon dying here. I see Cannon dying, and I see it being by Forte, if I'm being completely honest. Why? I don't know. Forte, you see how Forte grabbing on Lyle and shit, like he's strong as shit, like he a damn Power Ranger. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know. He might be a little malicious. Then not only that, she shot me too. Fucking Lyle and Missy died with his fucking by a chandelier, man. That she did. Also want to apologize that this game makes me so freaking scared to the point where I don't have my headphones in. If I can't even play this game, I don't know how to play horror games. Bro, I'm in a room by myself, and you see this green screen right here? Anytime I'm recording and they play like some scary music, I swear I feel like somebody's behind it. Like a fucking demon is like scratching against the fucking green screen and then trying to eat me, bro. I swear to God, that's what I be thinking. I don't know why. Sorry, Lord, let me stop showing you that. Last time, I promise y'all, I grabbed the teddy bear and everything just to record this shit. I don't know why it makes me that scared, but I promise I won't take them off no more. I don't care how scared I am. I'm not gonna take it off. I'm gonna just sit there and play. Hello in fear. Yes, sir. I'm sorry this outro is so long, but I wanted to like really recap and talk about this the right way, bro, because it wasn't sitting right with me. Why did we just transpire back now? Like, how did we go back in time? And then at first, you seen how he was like, huh? What's going on? Now he's all like normal about it. Like what the fuck is going on, bro? What's really happening? Pandora has a twin sister, and she's Eve. Zero is that radio host. Zero is that one radio host they were talking about. It's also boom. There was 5 other students, or 4. Their faces were crossed out. Silva, I don't think Silva was on there. That's another thing. I was looking for Silva time and time again on there. I don't remember seeing Silva. I remember seeing everybody else. I think I did see Silva. Never mind. Point is, like, there's so much shit that happened that last episode, and it just all got whoop whoop. Oh shit, I had my phone. Whoop whoop. Brought right back to here, bro. That means, did any of that happen? I guess we'll find out on the next episode. This is already a 5-minute outro. But yeah, I apologize for my energy. I'll stop being a pussy. Hello. And I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video, bro. Peace.
Fuck a text from my ex, I'm up next, get no rest till I'm dead. I got stoned.